Hey Transformer fans, it is toy review time. And I got something a little bit different today. This is my first major third party slash knockoff. It's a figure I thought I had to have. MP10 mold was supposed to be Ultra Magnus. And I got it from TF Direct. My second purchase from TF Direct. First I got their knockoff Rat Bat because I wanted a Rat Bat without buying Sound Blaster. And I'm going to pay all that money. So I got it for $14. From TF Direct, and I was happy with it, so I went ahead and upgraded, I guess, to something a little bit more major. So I actually like the Rat Bat figure a lot, and this is something I wanted, and I wanted to give it a shot. It comes packaged in this brown box with the orange caution tape that says, do not open if seal is broken. And just want to show you how it was mailed out to me from TF Direct, a China company. And I've opened the bottom, and packaged inside it has packed with one giant piece of styrofoam. If you can see, there's a piece of styrofoam on this side and a piece of styrofoam at the top. Why they didn't bother packing all the sides, I don't know. The box has some dings in it coming from overseas, and I wanted to show you on camera so you can get a good idea if you decide to order something from TF Direct. And here is the KO MP10 mold for Ultra Magnus. I bought this because the Masterpiece Ultra Magnus from Tomy Takara didn't come with the transformable cab, and I really wanted it, and here it is. So it comes wrapped in this plastic, a little bit more caution tape, and as I like to do, I like to totally unbox on camera, so if you're getting one, you know what you're in for. And here it is. A little close up on the back of the box. It's made like the MP10, what is it, Nemesis Prime box, where it just comes with just the figure and no trailer, and it shows you, of course, the contents like any other I guess standard masterpiece box. Spin around to the front, and there is the front. And the thing I like about these, they don't try to come across as the real deal. Like, they didn't try to imitate the Takara Tomy logo on there. It just says Transformers more than meets the eye. Masterpiece has a picture of Magnus. Down at the bottom, MP10U for Ultra Magnus, Earth Commander Ultra Magnus version. So pretty basic box. It looks like the Masterpiece box, but they are not trying to fool anyone. And I see there's no tape on the box. So let me get this open and open it together and see what's going on with it. And the thing about my toy review, I paid for mine. This wasn't a free sample shipped out. So you're going to get an honest opinion on what I think of this knockoff. My first major knockoff. Like, I've bought things like the Quintesson Judges. I guess the iGear Computer Control Center was a major knockoff. I paid $100 for that thing. And I paid $114 for this guy from over there. The clamshell's not taped, I don't think. Nope, not taped. Packaged in there is Energy X, Matrix of Leadership, which I can see imperfections from here on that, and his blaster rifle. I'll take him out. It feels a little light. Yeah, I can feel it already. Like, it's 100% KO. Like, with my eyes shut, I know it's not a KO. I mean, I know it's not the real deal. I can feel it. I've handled a few versions of the MP10 mold, and you actually, you can kind of see it in person. I've seen a tour review with a guy, I think from Rocket Punch Army does it, and it looked amazing. And I knew I wanted to get it just so I could have this piece separate. But you can feel it in the legs. It's a little loose. And I'm the type of guy, this thing, I paid $114 for it. I'm gonna say it was free shipping, and that's a hefty price. And immediately it feels KO-ish. Feels like a knockoff. I mean, it is a knockoff, but I was hoping it would come down to the small details to fool you. As I'm turning it, like some of the little panels are coming loose. You can really feel it in the legs. So I guess we all kind of know the articulation of this figure, but I'm gonna go over the like this little arm is loose, straight out of the box. That's loose. So I'm gonna do the articulation just to get a sense of tightness in the joints or looseness in the joints. The head is on that little ball joint thing, of course. It's not terribly loose, but you can feel that it's more so than the Hasbro version. The little ear things are pretty stiff, antenna or whatever, they're pretty stiff. The swivel's pretty good on the head. Check his shoulder joints. Oh, they're not, these are nice and tight. They're really not sliding out at all. They should slide out more. These are nice and tight. The bicep swivel. Bicep swivel is good, but this one arm, that's immediately falling. The wrist swivel is very tight. That's nice. The fingers are good. Check the waist. Waist will look good. I can feel the loosening in the legs there coming up as I'm handling the rest of the robot. There's not much ratchety there, and you can kind of see when I pull it up, it's starting to droop. And you can hear it just not really clicking, but it's holding. Let me try it to the side. It's stiff going to the side. That's cool. So it holds its position to the side. Again, the knee holds his leg up pretty good. Ankle's pretty stiff. They do have the die cast in the feet. That rocker's pretty good. And at the top of the thigh, it's pretty good ratchety in there. Check the smokestacks. I don't know if they let up and down like this one moves up and down. Yeah, I can get this smokestack to retract a little bit, but this one over here is very tight and don't want to break it. Can't get this one to go up and down. And in the palm of this hand, you can see it's not quite assembled correctly. I tried squeezing it together and really couldn't get it. It's like it's stuck right there. Maybe I can get some pliers or something and shut it, but there's a little imperfection right there. And while I'm at the hand, I'm gonna get his gun out. This is his gun. Has a little, wow, and it's like it's real flimsy. I turned it over and it just fell apart like that. And I'm pretty sure it's supposed to hold. And you can really feel the difference. And I understand it is a KO, but it's a very expensive KO. And I see springs and everything, and this little part doesn't stay closed. Let's try the gimmick. Sorry about that. Can't quite get it to close up. There it is for the gimmick. The spring-loaded action works just fine. It feels fine. I'm gonna put the gun in this hand, if it will go in this hand, for a very specific reason that you already know what I'm doing. Okay, gun in hand. It pegs in good. It pegs in just fine. Gun in hand, and that arm's not going to stay up. It could be just mine, but I'm pretty sure it's most likely all of them. So, oh, I'm so tired. Oh, need John. Oh no. And that arm's loose. This arm isn't loose, and I probably, you know, a little tinkering, I probably could fix it, but KO or no KO, this thing's over $100. I also see a little imperfection in the paint here, but I've seen imperfection in the paint in real masterpieces. Like Bumblebee. My masterpiece Bumblebee had like little dings underneath the paint that was like already on the toy when they painted it. And speaking of paint, where he does have paint, it's pretty good. And they added like extra paint. The MP10 doesn't have little clear bits here. Very nice, very nice. They added a little something to the feet. Give a little bit more detailing. Little clear bits in here. They've painted inside of the legs. The true MP10, even though there's not a true MP10 Magnus, but Optimus doesn't have these little painting details. You come around to the back, you see even more. Pretty much everywhere. And then he has like some scuffing on him in more than one place that I've noticed. Like wherever they put this toy together at. It wasn't in the clean room. He has scuffing inside this arm over here. Or not even scuffing, but like dirt. In the chest, it's not quite together. And don't get me wrong, I know standard MP10s come with imperfection. Any toy comes with imperfections, but I'm just pointing this out. And if you're like me and you want to add this for the same reason I want to add it, just to have the Optimus Prime shell of MP10 to go along with your Ultra Magnus. And I'm going to check the peg first. I don't think this gun's going to fit in this hand. No, it's not. Would have been nice if it did, but maybe I can get it the standard. It has a good grip. Try to just close it in anyway. See if we can hold it. And no. Oh, no, it's not happening. So I got to slide it out a little bit. Try to close it this way. And no. He can't hold Ultra Magnus' gun, which is, I guess, his gun. Okay, and one more note on his hands, his actual fingers. Well, the one finger that is articulate, it has a little bit more articulation than MP10 version. It actually points completely straight instead of the slight bend. Get to his accessories, and the first one I'm going to talk about is the energy axe, which is very, very rigid. It's a hard, solid piece of plastic, and I'm trying to get it on his hand. I went on with no problem, but again, with this hand, Hassan Chop, it's not gonna stay up. And I don't know if it feels like it's one solid piece, and it doesn't separate like, it doesn't separate like the original version. And with so much of this, so many things are so stiff that I don't want to risk it breaking it. You know, because again, it wasn't cheap, and these things are very hard as well, which is probably a safety issue if a kid's gonna have this. As this as well, it's very pointy, has absolutely no give. It's solid. And his matrix, which you can see where the paint has chipped off and it's not very well done at all. But I probably got some paint in the drawer, the same metallic color, and I can hit it with it, but it's not there. The crystal, you can see the bubble in there. It's not a very good blue, which I don't know if that's a bad thing or not. Gives it a little bit more transparency. And speaking of matrix, let's get his chest open and see what's going on in there. That was pretty easy. That flips up pretty easy. And you can see whatever this panel piece is, it's oversprayed with paint. And since you got to kind of dig it out, I can see the paint chipping off if I haven't done it already. But you got to dig that out, and there's the matrix cavity in there. And we'll take his matrix and slide it in. Goes in with no problem. So we close it up. Okay, let's see if we can close it up again. I don't know if I got it all the way back, but it's not sitting in there flush. Maybe I have it backwards, I don't know. See if that'll help if I can. Yeah, fingernail's not doing it. Give me a second. Okay, I got it out, and I'm gonna flip it around because this is actually the front. I'm gonna see if that helps. I saw a toy review where a guy had it, and he had a review sample, and I don't think he had any problem with his. But the thing is, when you have a review sample, it's usually a very well done, well looked at piece for the sake of reviewing. This is a production piece that what you're probably going to get if you don't have it already. And a lot of times the production pieces have more problems than the review samples. So having a little trouble closing the door. And sometimes it can be me and what I'm doing, but you can see what I'm doing. And with the matrix in there, I'm having a little trouble closing the door. With the matrix in there, I think it's all the way back. It's not quite sitting in there flush, and I got the little gold coming off even more as I do this. And again, I understand it is a KO, and that's what I'm getting out of the chest to this point as far as closing it. And let me just step over MB10. MB10, the original Hasbro, is not without its flaws, because this one shoulder, boy, it'll fall and hang on you. But I don't have that problem closing the chest. And even though I just threw him in here, get back to this guy. Speaking of chest, I wanted to point out that these little windshield things, at least this one, has a bit of articulation. It's not just a fixed mold. I don't know about this one so much. It moves, but I don't know if it rotates. And again, you don't want to pop it off and then have the boo-boo face. But back to trying to close this chest. Let me see if I take the matrix out, will it line back up? Shoot, what was that? I think something just flaked off or something. Heard it hit the table. All right. If I can get it to close back. Okay, so maybe it's not the matrix. Maybe it's something else holding it up. Maybe I'm not being forceful. Okay. Okay, I got it. I'm not getting it over the tab. I apologize for that. It's not the toy. It's the reviewer. And again, like I'm not trying to be too rough with it. You know what I'm saying? I like to have 24 hours before I actually break it instead of same day. Alright, snaps it over. And that's it, but I still have that little slice, little gap. It's not present here, or not so much. And other than the transformation, I think that's pretty much it. And I will try, I'm gonna go off camera and try to work with this gap and see if I can get it to fit better. See if it is indeed me, because this happened before. I made mistakes in reviews and But you can see it here for yourself if it's happening to you or has happened to you. So I'm gonna go forward with the transformation now. So here he is transformed to the best of my ability. The bumper isn't quite tabbed in correctly. I've opened it, I've closed it. It's not quite tabbed in very good there. A little bit better on the other side. And on the back, I have like some discoloration where the trailer hitch connects right here. Seems like that's probably going to just get worse as time goes on. And the tires don't have quite the depth and the treads as the original. You know, and I expect some of these things, I really do, and I can accept some of these things. And oh, I have the opportunity to correct my mistake, and I folded out the staircase, which in a couple of previous reviews I failed to do. Underneath, that's how it looks. It's pretty clean underneath. The gas tanks, fuel tanks, whatever, don't quite, they go in there, but they really don't stay like they should. Well, this one does, but this one is like, you know, not really bad. And this smokestack, when it's in truck mode, it's supposed to go down. So, you know, give the illusion that the pipe is connected to the inside of the truck to the exhaust intake. And I couldn't get this one because I didn't want to break it, because a broken smokestack just ruins it. And I guess it really doesn't matter up or down, whatever, who cares. But here he is, and here he is with his, oh, the mirrors. The mirrors out. The mirrors, they're there. And here he is with the Ultra Magnus mold cab. What would have been a nice touch if they, instead of the chrome, which I love chrome, did the whole red bumper thing so you can really have that look. And I'm not the type of guy that would actually go and paint it. I'm probably gonna leave it just like it is. But here they are, side by side. Change the camera, and it's very comparable in cab mode. And here you can see what I was talking about, the treads. This one's a little bit deeper. Very good mold. The Autobot logo, pretty much the same. Here we go with the Hasbro MB10 mold, and for years a lot of people were saying that the KOs were used from the exact same mold, or even imperfect versions that didn't pass quality inspection and they became KOs. But looking at these toys, there's a lot of differences in the molds, not just with the little windshield wipers, but with the headlights. You can see the two squares for the MP10 headlights are a lot larger than the two squares for his headlights. There's differences in the bumper. The side tab is a lot larger than the KO version. And they continue paint apps in truck mode that MP10 doesn't have, which is pretty cool. Makes it stand out a lot. Paint in here. Alright, haven't transformed it. There were, like I said, with a couple things, I couldn't get the bumper to go in that well. You can see it. And obviously it's tabbed in better here. Tabbed in better here. Not much, but it is. Yeah, rolls pretty good. I'm gonna see if he can carry a trailer just as well. Here he is with Year of the Horse Optimus Prime's trailer. Carries it just fine. Rolls pretty good. So overall, in truck mode, I want to say it's very comparable to the MP10. When I was transforming it, I didn't find any flaws other than the little issues I'd already pointed out in robot mode. And the bumper not tabbing together too great. And you can see on the box here in the photo that it's not tabbed in all that well. So this is just one of the issues of it, and I hate to say it, but I gotta say it. It is what it is. I hate saying that. And notwithstanding the discoloration here and the quality control, far as when they were assembling this toy, somebody wasn't wearing gloves or hands were dirty, because there's some dirt splotches on the mold, on the toy, I should say. But it's not bad. It's not bad at all in truck mode. And I don't know if it's just because it's a brilliant white that the windows are more translucent, don't have as much as a tinting effect going on there, but you can really see in there real well. Well, since I'm talking about it, let me give him a driver. You gotta lift up on these doors when you're closing it, unlike the original. And there's that Daniel in there, Daniel. All right, I'm gonna get this guy back into robot mode. Real quick, I want to talk about the NG axis from these guys, and this is the KO ULTRA MAGNUS Energy X. Like I said earlier, it's very hard, but it's actually, and it's molded different. It's not the same stuff redone. Here is the Year of the Horse Optimus Prime's Energy X, and aside from being a different shade of blue, the little bubble is actually larger on this one. The X blade is larger. If I overlap them, you can clearly see that this one is larger. Even the energy sparking out of the X is different. And it's actually a little bit taller when you stand them side by side. And here's MP10's Energy X. Like I said, these are rubbery. You can bend them and twist them. And this one actually separates. The Year of the Horse doesn't separate, but it's bendy. It's not as rigid as this. This one isn't bending anywhere. Like, you'll snap it if you try to bend it. And those are the 3 Energy X's. Okay, to wrap up this toy review, the 3 major flaws with this toy that I found was the one arm, which I'm going to try to fix that. It shouldn't be too hard to take care of that, but it is there. The gun. This isn't a big deal with a tab, just sort of just sticks out, but there's a nice little chunk out of here where I guess it was cut off the sprues where they injected the plastic for the mold. That's kind of unsightly. Also, the little bit of discoloration that I found and a couple of the white parts. But the positive things are, it's not quite as good as I hoped, but it wasn't bad as I feared. It'll do. I finally get to put this guy next to this guy side by side, because this is what's inside here. It was supposed to be anyway. And one of my favorite moments was in the Pat Lee comics, I think it was in 2005, where he was damaged and he actually took off the armor and took it apart to save Optimus Prime from Shockwave. And they finally revealed that, you know, basically Ultra Magnus was his brother inside the armor. And he wound up having to get saved by Grimlock. And Grimlock sees him for the first time and looks him in the face and says, I thought you were ugly before, which was sort of a crack on Ultra Magnus and Optimus at the same time. Thought it was pretty cool. But everything else, some parts are over tight. They kind of scared me. I didn't want to mess up. You clearly can tell it's a knockoff. It's not terrible. I guess it's what it's supposed to be. I paid $114 for it. I got it off of TF Direct. It took about 7 to 8 days to come in the mail. It arrived. I showed you the packaging. And this is what you get. This is what your money is buying. If you choose to get this thing, they have the Bape 8 knockoff version, which I was thinking about getting. And I'm still kind of on the fence. I don't know if this one has convinced me to buy more. They say it's not bad. I just wanted to go with this piece here. And it's pretty good. It's pretty good as far as understanding it's a KO. And giving it a KO scale, 1 to 10. I'll give it about a 7. It's about a strong 7. It had like a little gap here. And when you moved it, it kind of, you can see it, and that kind of worries me a little bit because you have to handle the legs to transform it in and out. So that worries me a little bit. But 3 to 4 major things that I just went over was pretty much the only problems. And other than that, it's a pretty good toy. It's standard. Like I said, I knew I was buying a KO, and I just wanted this to go with that. And the funny thing is, now that I bought this, Takara will probably release an official version just because I paid for this. And if you want to get it, I got mine off tfdirect.com. It's cheaper than I've seen on eBay and anywhere else. So that's about it. Thanks for watching again, and I'll see you soon.